Congratulations, Random. You are indeed first.
These are from a conventional payload perspective. I have no idea. I did try to do a little bit of research into that. But that last use was back in November of 2024. I'm going to show you the footage of that. That way you...
Yeah, apparently Russia just fired another IRBM, which, oh my god, it's just a joke. People are freaking out about that a while ago because it's a nuclear-capable missile. They fired plenty of other nuclear-capable missiles, so it was just a load of bullshit. But apparently they did it again because they're having a hissy fit over the Venezuela thing. What are you doing? Pete Buttigieg.
I'm joined now by the former Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Pete, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I want to start first and foremost with this tragic and unnecessary shooting and killing in Minneapolis. We've obviously all seen the footage, but I think what's especially striking today is the fact that we're seeing a lot of these Trump administration officials, including J.D. Vance, including Kristi Noem, basically double down in defense of the ICE agent who committed this atrocity and spread lies, for example, that the woman in the car, Renee Good, was seeking to run the ICE agent over. Trump himself even said outright that the ICE agent was run over and dragged down the street. And so can I have your reaction to the gaslighting happening at the hands of these administration officials?
Yeah, not only is it, of course, horrifying that a woman, an American, a mother lost her life, but that the federal government is lying about it, that we can see with our own eyes what happened. And also just the idea that she dropped her 6-year-old son off at school and then turned around and randomly decided to try to kill a federal agent just doesn't pass the basic sanity test of the things that we're expected to believe.
What does it say that this administration doesn't feel like it can offer even an ounce of, that even acknowledging objective reality seems
like it's obvious why they're doing this too, because if they acknowledged the ICE issue, it would make it harder for them to promote this. Oh, we need to invade every state, every city, use ICE agents as, like, the Gestapo. Like, clearly this isn't working out. ICE has overstepped their boundaries like fucking crazy, and this is, like, horrific. Especially horrific.
Like some capitulation to the dangerous communist Marxists on the left, and so they have to engage in this whole farce.
Well, the administration doesn't believe that it owes the American people the truth or anything else because they believe they're beyond accountability. But there needs to be accountability over this. Look, Secretary Kristi Noem has not yet faced accountability for the Texans who may have lost their lives in the floods last year because it took her days to authorize search and rescue teams. They lost their lives or may have lost their lives over that. Now a Minnesota woman lost her life yesterday in an incident that never should have happened. She should be with her family, alive and well, right now. We have an ICE agent who, by the way, is or should have been trained not to be in front of a vehicle and never to shoot into a moving vehicle. And yet this happened on her watch. The whole point of Homeland Security.
I don't even know why you need to be trained to do that. You'd think you'd have enough common sense to avoid, like, being run over or some shit.
Security.
Dog kills 13-year-old.
Can we react to this next?
Is there anything that you...
Yes, I already have that link ready. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I'm standing here on Upper Sandy...
Lamau, look at this. Frank didn't even spell it right. Look left of his head, right at the start.
A lot of you offer to help, so
Safe Frankies. Jeez, the lack of effort. What a fucktard. We've already seen the video, but like, Jesus Christ. What a fucking retard. Thanks for the donation, S. Oh, Alex Trailer.
And his opponent, the Dark Devil himself, the man with no allies. Can the devil... Complete disrespect from the challenger. What a heartless humanoid. Oh, no ally. Hero.
I really don't like the fighting system in SF6, especially after the updates and as it's developed. It ends up being basically a rock, paper, scissors match, and there's too many characters that can basically touch of death you. It just ends up being fucking annoying and stupid.
Cove Road in the community of Welshtown, where 13-year-old Drew Nickerson was attacked by 3 dogs on the weekend. Police say he was riding his bike when it happened and later died in hospital following the incident. In an update Wednesday, RCMP said the boy was attacked by 3 large breed dogs, 2 Cane Corsos and a Rottweiler. Police say investigators have been gathering video footage and interviewing people in the area about the dog's daily movements, describing it as an extremely distressing incident for everyone involved.
It was determined that a young boy, a youth, had been mauled by 3 large dogs.
Yeah, I'd imagine Cane Corsos and Rottweilers would be pretty good at killing children.
How could Christians support this administration after an ICE agent killed an innocent woman?
You just answered your own question. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. Let me see. Anti-regime protest just used his Puget to run over a number of Islamic regime security forces. Yeah, they're pretty fed up at this point. Yeah, the Iranian regime is
unveil our new and looser guidelines for drinking alcohol.
So alcohol is a social lubricant that brings people together. In the best case scenario, I don't think you should drink alcohol, but it does allow people an excuse to bond and socialize, and there's probably nothing healthier than having a good time with friends in a safe way. There is alcohol on these dietary guidelines, but the implication is don't have it for breakfast.
Don't have it for breakfast? What do you think about that, Guillermo?
Fucking retarded. They're, I can guarantee you, they got paid off by alcohol industry executives to do this.
This is everything I served.
Like, what's interesting, too, is they also blocked the release of a new study that was going to come out where they were looking at alcohol consumption, health outcomes. That reeks of corporate corruption.
My vegan civil wedding. We started strong with tea time pick-me-ups like chai ice cream inspired by my mom's secret chai recipe. We also served iced strawberry matcha because who doesn't love a strawberry matcha? Then we had desserts on display, mini pandan cupcakes with gula melaka cream, scoff and sea salt dark chocolate blondies. For the actual dinner, we catered these mini McSpicy sliders as well as a few recipes on my own like these spicy cumin noodles, vegan salted egg yolk tofu, garlic parmesan mushrooms, and more. This is everything I...
Okay. South Africa, 20%, 21% of the rape is so bad that the president declared national disaster. 31% unemployment, has only 30% of GDP at New York City, despite New York City having just 13% of the population. South Africa is the model for New York. What? Is he out of his fucking mind? Who would say that? That is just, that has to be the craziest thing he's ever said. Housing czar. Wish I believed in God so I could believe that all men who take credit for women's work. Oh, Jesus. And all white men who take credit for the work of women of color would one day burn. Women don't work. You can look at the stats on this. Women work less hours and they are less productive while they're working. That's a fact. They also cause way more interpersonal issues at the workplace. So if you look at HR complaints, they are overwhelmingly reported by women. So they don't work as much. They are less productive. They take more time off. They demand more fucking benefits. And they create more interpersonal drama at the fucking workplace. And then she's claiming men are taking credit for women's work. You're a dumb bitch. Fucking retarded. Like, oh my god. New York. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
And how could SJWS support Iran when their own people are getting fed up with it?
Chinese propaganda. TikTok brain rot. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
How's AVG? Yesterday I was at Starbucks and I heard these two dumb bitches employed talk about how soy milk is bad. Lol, I should have dated her and crush her opinions. I'm not even vegan, but I'm smart enough to know it's superior against animal-based.
They work at Starbucks for a reason, dude. Thanks for the donation, Superman.
And yet women wonder why they get paid less than men.
Yeah, it's a real fucking mystery. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
At that time, injuries.
This close family friend.
Bottom of her heart.
You want to bet the kid was like throwing rocks at the dogs or something?
Is to make this country more stable and safe. And it is very clear on this administration's watch that the opposite is what's happening.
Do you think that the administration derives some benefit from instances like this taking place? Because we've seen that Trump often wants to create some inciting incident that he then uses as a pretext to be able to ramp up or escalate tensions, send in the military, send in the National Guard. He tried to do it in Los Angeles, in Chicago, in Portland.
Dodo, donate $2.
New York is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think that the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, like, usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time. It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party
I think
nationally.
the Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrat socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela, just bad ideas. And again, this ugly streak, streak of anti-Semitism.
Who's the most popular politician on the left?
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie? Bernie is Bernie is. I mean, he's not a capitalist.
No, he's not, and he's also not president.
He's not. But
And
neither
never
is
would be.
But neither is Mamdani.
No.
Mamdani can't legally run for office. And Bernie was never a particularly popular candidate. So what point is he making?
No, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah,
Nancy
but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into
Fucking retarded. That's a dumb take from Brian Tyler Cohen. Yeah.
My leg day warm up?
No, don't give me that bullshit.
I've already seen that. Who cares?
Today, about 50% of the calories that our children eat are ultra-processed food or highly refined carbohydrates that's literally poisoning them. And that is the result of a food pyramid that was driven by mercantile impulses that put Fruit Loops at the top of the fruit pyramid. We now have a science-based food pyramid that is based upon the most recent best science. And it's telling people to eat proteins.
Where the fuck did he get the idea that Fruit Loops were at the top of the food pyramid? You can look at the old food pyramid. Like these people are all just fucking crazy.
Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and whole grains, and that is going to transform.
That's what the recommendation was before.
Same type of business providing the same service in the same building. Another, convenience, home, healthcare, aid, Inc., and child-friendly space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building?
Okay, that guy's stupid. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Cam, donating $2.
Your parrot could repeat the word back perfectly, and if it escapes, it could teach other birds the curse word. You see, parrots naturally copy the sounds they hear the most, and in the wild, showing off new calls makes them seem smarter. Soon, other birds will quickly copy the words, and even teach them to their babies, meaning entire flocks might end up learning your favorite curse word. If you
That's cool. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Can you be live that there are Trump supporters defending the death of Tatwoman Killed by the ICE agent?
Okay. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Portland in Washington, D.C. And so now we have basically, an uprising delivered on a silver platter, thanks again to ICE itself. And so do you think that the administration actually benefits or wants stuff like this to take place so that they can use this as the pretext that they're looking for?
If this was about public safety, if this was really about immigration, they would be doing things very differently. It's clear that this president knows that he is better off when Americans are fearful, chaotic, divided, and these ICE deployments and National Guard deployments are part of that. This is not about ICE's actual mission, which is, by the way, an important one, of securing the border and enforcing immigration law. This is about making sure that there is an atmosphere of fear and division in this country, an atmosphere that in some ways has been at least beneath the surface and sometimes exploding to the surface for all of the last 10 years since the Trump era began when he came down that escalator. And of course, when we are divided, fearful, and angry, it is harder to focus on solving problems like the problems he promised to solve about being able to afford the cost of living in this country. He doesn't want to be explaining why costs have gone up instead of down since he took power. He doesn't want to explain why the economy is getting worse and not better, why it's harder, not easier to get through life, why healthcare premiums just shot up.
Who are not qualified to be doing those jobs, who are not qualified to be
we ought to have, and in
supporters was this idea that he
was to...
Her name was Renee.
A lot of wind.
Day of shoulders and then delay hamstrings for a day, because I'm not like that low energy, like in need of a rest day where I just smack my so no right, try.
It's looking pretty jacked.
Or maybe it's because cane corsos and Rottweilers are generally aggressive dogs and just attacked the kid for no reason. You don't have to fuck with or throw rocks at aggressive dog breeds to get attacked.
Maybe the kid just smelled tasty. I don't know. Thanks for the donation, dude.
The fact that they are people defending the death of that woman makes me worry for the future of our species.
Yeah, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
But that's what I'm really aiming for, like kind of doing this little like side angle shot and seeing all these extra lines and grains creeping across. Now pumped, it actually gets a little bit less defined because there's so much blood in the area. It's almost like swelling up all the definition. Like crazy veins, but just like that I get because I'm not like...
Hey, Nicole Macklin, demand a protest. Gnome describing the incident as an... You're able to keep aiming at something that is under every...
You can see... know him well socially and...
the reaction, the Panama Canal office last... Now it doesn't...
Fucking hate everything. It's just such wind, just total windbags.
One that you regret doing.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
I was kicked out of uni.
He was throwing punches at someone.
That ice shooting was 100% justified. These retardlibs need to finally get a taste of their own medicine. My nigga Trump and ICE are doing the right thing raiding these brown fucks out of our cities. And that white bitch got what she deserved. Praise ICE.
That's good. Thanks for the donation.
One's mom.
No, there's nothing that like went horrendously wrong.
Coach Greg, and talk about not aging well, the Clavicular interview by Ive Coffeehauer, it's got to go down in history. I've already watched the video, about 2 hours. I've got all the timestamps, and I'm going to show you.
Is that Sam Sulek? Are there new Frank vids?
Yes, that's Sam Sulek, and there aren't any new Frank vids. Thanks for the donation, James.
How ridiculous Clavicular really is. I think the highlight...
So, Greg's thesis for this video is... In an interview, Clav said he doesn't regret anything, but he ran over somebody in a car. What would he have to regret? He never got criminally charged. And it looks like he's never going to be criminally charged for it. So what is there to regret?
For me was when he said, you know, Mr. Beef, he's a sociopath, and I never get this wrong, and that he's not impulsive. You know, he does everything calm, cool, collective. He doesn't ever act on impulses, you know, like driving over somebody who jumps on his car.
Which social...
That, like, considering how cold and calculated he was being, it didn't seem impulsive.
social medias are you banned from?
I am banned from Instagram and YouTube right now.
And since this, add to that Kick. And so the first time you get banned, well, you ask yourself, maybe it's them. Second time, you start to wonder. Third time, maybe you, in fact, are the problem.
Do you know why you got banned?
Something to do with like the new AI moderation system. I had one of my live accounts taken down that uploads like my Kick VODs.
Yeah, and driving over somebody. Those three things.
How much have you spent on your current looks maxing journey?
I probably spend $50,000 to $80,000 a year just on like peptides.
But yet he
you want me to do movie nights so my channel gets a strike again and I can't upload for a week?
Can't afford testosterone. What women often complain about is how much money they have to spend on their bodies. Their looks, makeup, hair, all the things. But what they don't realize is that men who care about their looks actually spend more. You don't believe me?
This nigger always getting triggered.
Vegangains. Roid raging.
Thoughts on the Bible.
So you have God's beta male instead.
Dude, little roid raging. Okay, whatever. I've already seen the clip. Thanks for the donation, dude.
I met a guy, he said he spends $6,000 a month on growth hormone, testosterone, peptides, not just on performance-enhancing drugs. And by the way, if you're looking for enclomiphene, testosterone, peptides, and so on, click the link in the description, Algo RX. Doctors will not gatekeep. They will prescribe to you exactly what you need at about half the price of Merrick Health. Shop around, do what you need to do. Code Greg for 10% off. And so, guys, we have to spend way more money. Do you know how much a good suit can cost? Yesterday, a friend of mine came over, $12,000 for a brand new suit. How much money does a woman have to spend to look good? A $50 skirt and a tank top, you're doing fine.
And like a lot of nootropic related stuff that really pushes the price up. So like intelligence.
I don't know what the fuck Greg is talking about. 99% of the cosmetics market is women. Men don't really wear makeup, so women are pretty much exclusively buying cosmetic supplies. And when he's talking about like, oh, how much does it cost for a man versus a woman to look good? What do you mean by that? Like you can buy an expensive suit or a cheap suit. You can buy an expensive dress or a cheap dress. It's just clothes are clothes. If you want to spend $5,000 on a suit or $100 on a suit, just like jewelry, you can spend like $5,000 on a fucking diamond necklace, or you can spend $5 on a necklace that looks the same, because it's just like fucking. What a dumb, like, Greg is so fucking stupid.
Maxing is like another thing I do.
Clearly it isn't working because a smart man doesn't drive over somebody who jumps on his car.
He got away with it, so apparently that is smart.
And puts his entire life in jeopardy. And so no matter how many peptides you're taking to improve your IQ, it's going to be superseded or overcome by the fact you're drinking alcohol, doing math, sniffing creatine, and taking steroids. You're not doing the low-hanging fruit. You're spending.
Greg takes steroids, so I don't know why the fuck he's criticizing Clav for taking steroids.
Up to $80,000 to Looks Max when all you needed to do was go to the gym and get a proper tan.
Do you think it's possible to go from a 4 to an 8?
Once again, it's just very context oriented, so I couldn't give you an answer there.
He clearly needs some more brain maxing. Is it possible to go from a 4 to an 8? Of course it is. How does he not answer, yes, it's possible? Oh, it depends on the context, it depends on this. Is it possible? Yes, it is. If you're a fat piece of shit and you lose weight, you very easily could go from a 4 to an 8. If you're a woman and you get surgeries, hair extensions, lip filler, breast implants, lose weight, build your ass, dress slightly, put on makeup, you might go from a 4 to a 10 for all we know.
So remember when I first saw you, I think it was you were at the gym or like, and I thought maybe you were joking about like snorting something before working out. And I'm like, what the there's no way.
He wasn't joking about snorting something. We all know he wasn't kidding. Sniffing creatine, doing math, these are not things he's joking about. These are things he's actually done. Thankfully, he says it's been over 2 weeks now that he stopped. And so hopefully he can continue because we've seen it. He's lost 15 pounds of muscle. He's not going to the gym. And so he can't take his own advice. When you look smacks, it's not about smashing your bones, doing limb lengthening surgeries, or getting a double jaw implant. It's not about that. It's about doing the little things and being consistent. Going to the gym, losing weight, getting a haircut. These things are very simple, low-hanging fruit that every one of us can and should be doing.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some like influencer. Like I'm not, okay? I've never claimed to be.
How does he claim to not be an influencer, yet he's influencing people as well as selling a course?
The thing I look forward to every day is going to hang out with new people. I just love it. So you guys who are super disciplined gym people and you're not really participating in the world, you're stupid. Isolation from the people that may not live correctly, like by your standards, is probably one of the dumbest things you could do.
Because he knows his time is up and he's going back to the pen to get pegged soon. So in my last video, we saw how much Peggy, that piece of shit, how much he's been shrinking, how much muscle he's been losing from doing all that stupid shit he's been up to. Well, there's been some developments in the criminal case that got me thinking as to maybe why. And no, it's not just because he wants to be more attractive to the inmates. Wait until I show you this shit.
It's been hard for me. It's been hard for me to come on camera and say how I really feel. So
Excellent spam as always. Thanks for the donation, 9014.
I feel the same as I used to, okay? Let's just put it that way. I mean, I really want to be more compassionate this year coming up. I want to connect with people more. That's why I've actually been partying. And people are like, what's the party about, Wes? I love people.
So the first thing I noticed is I saw this video of Peggy, right? And it was in a car. And the car was going up and down, bouncing all over, making a mess all around town. And I'm wondering, what's this asshole up to? Is he pegging somebody back there, Jack Epstein, big titties, the Island Boys? Why would he film it and put it online? But then no, I realized something. This asshole thinks he's cool. Like, remember those 90s rappers, Snoop Doggy Dogg in the lowriders? They were going around, looking all cool. But then I realized, Wes, you don't look cool like that. You know what you look like? You look like a sharmuta, right? From Patterson, giving car dates for $50 with your head bopping up and down. Get the out of here. Like I was saying, we see him here, shrinking more and more each day. And, you're going to understand more when I tell you what's been going on with the criminal case. But now, it all makes sense. And I was thinking about this before, but now I really think about it because, listen, he's doing a smart thing. Think about it. He's on all this shit, right? If he goes to prison and he doesn't come off prior and doesn't do a proper PCT, it's going to be a big problem for him. Let me tell you why. Think about something. You got this asshole Peggy, on the corner of the cell, moping around the block, the yard, going around, right? And his estrogen is super high because he didn't come off properly. We all know what happens, Your tits start popping.
Dodo donate $2. Let me see.
This, but the simple fact is, what you see is what you get in this case. You have a woman who is trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and...
Yeah, we already know he said that. I don't know why you're sending me this.
Already tried it.
It's upside down.
What?
Sir, the pyramid is upside down.
Turn the pyramid upside down. You can't be serious. That would put butter and fat at the top of the damn food pyramid! Get the president on the phone. Tell him to have some steak with his butter.
See this fucking shit.
Dude.
Where's that fucking tattoo? Let me see this
old
fucking
now.
shit. Yeah, get the fuck in your truck and get the fuck out of this city, dog.
Dude.
I mean it, bro. Don't make me fucking get on the phone and start calling people, because I'll have half this fucking city come down here and take you the fuck apart.
Well, dude, I'm not even from nowhere around. We just come
Fuck
through.
off, Nazi. Get in your truck and leave. Your whole fucking crew, Nazis?
No, man, we're not even from here.
Where the rest of them at?
Texas.
Yeah?
No, they're not.
Go back to fucking Texas.
Dude, I had this done years ago.
I know, and it's still on your fucking face,
Because
bro.
I ain't had no
I
time
seen
to
that
change
before. I seen your fucking eyes, dog. Get the fuck out of my piece of...
That's a good cat. On today's episode of Yep, That's Chinese. Chinese people are like gross, entitled, insane people. There's no way you'd ever be able to have an IKEA there. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
And now, because of the gyno, you start crying like a little bitch, like a woman, right? And that's the last place in prison that you want to walk around and act like that, because if you do, your name is not gonna be Wes Watson. He's looking at facing up to 20 years now, which is why all of this, what I'm saying, is gonna make more sense. But before we get into that story and those details, I want to take a moment to thank my sponsor, Aura. You know what they do? You know those assholes who call your phone nonstop all day and you just want to curse them off? Well, they help get rid of these pieces of shit. You guys shouldn't either. What happened in court was Wes pled not guilty, and by doing that, the prosecutors, they pursued another felony charge on him that they weren't going to do in the past. And the thing is this, okay? He had to plead not guilty because, as we know, he's involved in a civil case. And in that civil case, if he pleads guilty to the criminal one, he's going to automatically lose. But in turn, now he's facing up to 20 years.
Wes rejected all plea offers, so now the case is set for trial in March. And because he said no deal, the state is now moving forward with 2 felony assault counts instead of 1. So in this case, rejecting the plea offer actually caused the state to reinitiate and reinstate the original charges. So now again, whereas before Wes was facing one count, of felony assault at trial, now he's back to facing 2 counts of felony.
No, Errant VG does not react to movies on stream anymore because the course of YouTube are a bunch of copyright assholes who will shut you down even for viewing a public domain feature. Do you want VG to be banned for a week again?
Yes, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Felony assault at trial. Again, that's not just double trouble in a cute way. That's double
based.
Thanks for the donation, dude.
double exposure, more counts, more possible verdict combinations, more sentencing risk. and more leverage for the state if they come back later with a new offer that suddenly feels less optional.
Now, remember in the intro I said, he's been out partying like it's 1999, going out to clubs, finding sharmutas every night to be around them because he doesn't like to be alone and he wants to be greeted a certain way.
Man, ICE agents are such scum. How could any conservatives support them?
Because they're scum too. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Doing all this crazy shit, blowing all his money, right? Well, think about something. He knows he's going to prison for a long time, right? So he wants to live it up like it's his last night around. And that's exactly what he's doing. But the thing is, he tries to lie and justify it because, again, he never wants to tell everybody the truth.
I really want to be more compassionate this year coming up. I want to connect with people more. That's why I've actually been partying. And people are like, what's the party about, Wes? I love people. I love people. I've had money. I've been in isolation in prison. I've been broke. I've been rich. I've been this. I've been that. And I realize over time that the thing I love most in life is people. So I don't give a where they're at. I don't give a where they're at in life. I don't give a what they're up on. I don't give a to even talk shit about where they're at. I just want to extend my hand and tell everyone that I love them and I'm going to help them and I'm going to be here. And if you want to talk shit about me, this person, that person, go right ahead. It's really a reflection of who you are. And I don't agree with a lot of shit I used to say. I really don't. Was it effective? Yes. You need the drill sergeant. You need that shit at some time in life. But that's not where I'm at no more. I've proven my point.
Other thing I want you guys to notice, all this cash, because partying's not free, all this cash that he's blowing, throwing around, you know why he's doing that? Think about it. He doesn't want to pay his ex-wife Val any money. He doesn't want to pay the monster any money. So he's out there blowing every dollar that he can, having fun, before his ass is locked up in that shithole. And lastly, another reason, this asshole wants to try to look good for the judge. So he's maybe thinking, getting smaller, make videos saying how much he loves people, how being a drill sergeant was wrong. He's saying all this bullshit to try to look better, but this is the thing. What judge, what jury would ever believe a word this piece of shit says? And I don't think personally that anything he does can make him look better to the judge.
I want you guys to understand that changes do take place and people do become accountable for the way they've spoke, what they've done, and where they're going in life. And it's the best thing ever. I'm so proud of it. It just is so awesome because I get to go back to the people. And I thought I was alienated from them for a while. And that's what too much extreme discipline will do. It'll alienate you from the beautiful people in this world. And I hated it. I hated it. And I mean, the thing I look forward to every day is going to hang out with new people. I just love it. So you guys who are super disciplined gym people and you're not really participating in the world, you're stupid. And you'll realize later that you're that stupid because that was me. But I hope you realize sooner than later that the gym, too much discipline and too much isolation from the people that may not live correctly like by your standards is probably one of the dumbest things you could do.
Guys, thanks for watching.
Hi, Congressman Dan Goldman. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
So I want to start with a little bit of breaking news right here. We have all seen the situation unfolding in Minneapolis.
Green Knight Donny Tellers figured you or Dodo would love this. White liberal saviors confront Venezuela celebrating.
You all should be ashamed of yourself. Your own people are going to be the next Iraqi refugees. Millions of your own people are going to die, and you're cheering for the death of your own people. You're cheering for the death of Americans like me are going to die. They're cheering for the death of their own people. Shame on you. You're traitors to your country. You're traitors to your country. You're traitors. They're murderers, traitors to their country, celebrating the death of their own people. Millions of people. Shame on you. Streets of Venezuela. Bankers can get rich.
Thanks for the donation, Grey Knight.
Where an ICE officer executed an American citizen. So first and foremost, can I have your reaction to this kind of major update at the hands of an increasingly rogue, lawless agency?
Yeah, it is so upsetting. It is infuriating, and it is sadly not surprising. It was just a matter of time until something like this happened. ICE officers are going around the country, causing chaos, inciting violence, inflaming tensions.
Donate Chillers, that's the guy VG debated in, as I pointed out before. He worked for Russia Today as an anchor in VG. Didn't know that when he debated him. Okay. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Using far excessive force and frankly just trying to create fear and havoc in communities while not going after the worst of the worst that they promised
Why can't
they were
these
going
white
to try to do.
SJWs like that guy we just saw just shut up?
They can't help themselves. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo donated $2. This would mean Israel can take the Houthis out of power. Now you see why they did it right. Also, VG, do you know what Destiny's take on Maduro being taken is? Probably stupid as fuck. You should debate him on it. He was against the Maduro thing. He has a stupid take on it. Somaliland official says hosting Israel military bases on the table. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
When do you plan on retiring, VG? How's everything going with the lottery winnings?
Haven't won yet, but hopefully next draw I win. Thanks for the donation, Rack. Thanks for the donation, Chris. Feel like there has been no games that have come out.
Wait, we're playing games now this early?
I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Do you understand that the Houthis in Yemen are cooked? I mean like deep fried if Israel gets the base in Somaliland? Also, can you go debate Destiny on his stupid Maduro take?
Yeah, I'll do that when I have an opportunity to. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
What's your thoughts on the idea that we should go back to one-income households, man or women? Or two part-time? Some people say that two-income households is stupid. You're essentially competing for the same resources. Means kids don't get proper support too.
We are far past the point where that's ever going to be an option.
I want a new cat, but my parents I live with keep saying it's a bad idea because I have 4 dogs and they think my dogs will attack it. I really wish I could get a cat.
I don't know. It kind of depends on your dogs. All the dogs I've had were fine with cats. I don't know about your dogs, though. Thanks for the donation, Rec. We're far past the point where we can go back to single-income households. The only thing that's gonna, like, change that dynamic is just gonna be AI automation. So, you can't just snap your fingers and eliminate half the workforce. Thanks for the donation, G. This game fucking sucks. This was one of the shittiest fucking piece of crap fuckwit retard games I've ever played. And everyone's given it positive reviews. Like, this shit makes me want to fucking erase humanity.
React to this, VG.
It's just sickening that such a fucking shit boring game can come out. And then everyone's like, oh my god, it's so good. Everyone who gave this game a positive review needs to be wiped from the fucking gene pool.
One of you wrote in and asked, how do I date men when I hate men? Girl, I feel you. If your first instinct is to see this one video and say, why do you hate men? What rock are you living under? It's not personal. It's just sort of a general thing. When we as women are being so pushed to the wayside in terms of treatment in our country, it doesn't matter if individual men are nice guys or not nice guys. Just in general.
You're fat and ugly. The reason men don't like you and treat you like shit is because you're fat and ugly. And on top of that, you're fucking annoying and stupid. So that explains that. There you go. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Yeah, I feel like there's just no games anymore. I guess RE9 is going to come out. I really want to play Wolverine, but it's going to be only on console for a while. So fucking... I hate video game consoles. I just fucking hate them. You are such a stupid fucking retard if you play on console.
You can pick any person who lived throughout history to be president of the USA for 2 consecutive terms at this current time to navigate through the development of AI and geopolitical situation. Who would it be? For example, it could be Isaac Newton, Einstein, anyone.
Me. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. I'm sorry, they put a card game in the 2D category? That is so fucking stupid. Oh my god. The fuck are, like...
Women are so fucking dumb. I just wish sex robots would be here already. Ugh. They are so dumb and stuck up.
Yeah, thanks for the donation, dude. $2 I recall in school, I like especially in like elementary and middle school, it always seemed to me like girls were smarter than boys always in every subject, math and everything. Do you think that was just my unique experience, or is there something to that? Yeah, women are graded easier. They're not better at education. Teachers will just give them better grades for no reason. That actually explains entirely the educational gap between men and women. Just the simple bias in grading explains the education gap that's currently happening. So I think a few studies at this point have found that there's as much as, I think, a 17% average grade difference that can be explained by gender bias. So that's the difference between getting an A and getting a B, or getting a B and getting a C, or getting like a D or failing. So, yeah, it's women aren't better at anything. They just get graded easier. I noticed that with almost every English teacher I've ever had, except one who was a woman, and she graded extremely difficultly. But I would read essays written by female classmates. They were fucking retarded. They had no clear thesis. They would ramble about irrelevant bullshit. It was just incoherent nonsense, and they'd get higher grades than me. So, yeah, that's what's going on there. The only class where that bias might not exist would just be math, but that's only a maybe. Because the way math grading works, they grade you on the work you show, so that's not an objective basis for grading. So even then, women still have an advantage when it comes to gender preference with grading. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Why do women hate men so much these days, VG?
It's because they're cunts. Thanks for the donation, dude. Dodo donated $2. It's funny how you say women are treated like children, but when they are actually children, they're even treated more as children than boy children are treated. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. I drink energy drinks whenever. They don't seem to impact my sleep. I think I metabolize just about everything very quickly, so caffeine gets out of my system very rapidly. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to affect my ability to go to sleep. Generally, just because of like when I wake up and work out and stuff, I'll either have them in the morning or afternoon. but I'll just have it whenever it's convenient. They made a Baki game into a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out knockoff. Why in the fuck would they do that? That is outrageously retarded.
Poor. They're also, Brian, and this is something I don't think has gotten enough attention, with the absurd amount of money that the big ugly bill gave to ICE. They are hiring with $50,000 bonuses at an incredibly fast rate. They are bypassing normal training standards and requirements and sending people out to do this work who are not trained, not qualified, and not experienced. And it was just a matter of time until this happened. I'm actually surprised it has taken this long, but it is a real wake-up call to the department. Should be, let's put it this way, it should be a real wake-up call to Kristi Noem, the Department of Homeland Security, and Stephen Miller, who is clearly the driver behind all of this immigration policy. And unfortunately, what we've seen from them in response is the exact opposite.
Can you talk a little bit about what you've done in terms of pushing back against these extrajudicial efforts at the hands of ICE?
Yeah, we've been really devoting a tremendous amount of time to this. My district office in Manhattan is across the street from 26 Federal Plaza, which is where most of the immigration courts are in New York City, and where the detention facility is that ICE has been using to keep the large number.
$22 believe many SJW females understand that Islam is ideologically opposed to their ideals, but they don't care because they think it's their fault in the West. And the imperialist USA fault for Islam being radicalized, so they're fine with being useful idiots. Yeah, or something like that. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on Alex O'Connor? Would you rather be individual consciousnesses or just one consciousness?
In 1939,
Unified.
doctors...
Who the fuck cares? If he's talking about the split brain experiment, I think if he's talking about the experiment, I think he's talking about this might be remarkably uninteresting. I don't know why you'd ask me what I think about Alex O'Connor. Do you just like asking stupid questions to waste my time? Thanks for the donation, though, dude.
began splitting living human brains in half in order to treat severe forms of epilepsy. If that wasn't weird enough, no one was prepared for what happened next. The surgeries didn't only cure the patient's epilepsy, but fundamentally upended our understanding of human consciousness. In fact, many neuroscientists point to the experiments that came after these surgeries as evidence that there's not just one you living inside your brain, but potentially dozens or hundreds of different yous always competing for control of your body. Now, that may sound, well, frankly insane, but before you flip to the next video in your queue, there's someone that I want you to meet. This is Joe. 7 years.
Longevity diet. Watch at 39 minutes 38 seconds. Mark, he's an idiot.
So it's the beginning of 2026. Picky about the percentages. So what foods do I actually eat then? Well, I'll share with you. I do like to categorize myself as eating a semi-Mediterranean diet, but it's not a full Mediterranean, classical Mediterranean diet as in the clinical research, because I eat a little bit more protein. I don't eat that much olive oil, and I eat more carbs as well. I eat mostly potatoes and other things like that. So I'm eating a lot more carbohydrates in this.
Why do you want me to react to this? Okay, so he just eats normal, basic bitch shit that everybody thinks is okay to eat. Whatever. Oh! Someone's eating meat and yogurt! I gotta take a piss. I'll be right back. So, I'm relatively certain this guy doesn't really know what the fuck he's talking about. All the split brain thing just proves that certain parts of your brain perform certain functions. So there's visual information, there's like emotional processing, there's like speech, there's other cognitive aspects. And because if you have a split brain, those two parts of your brain can't communicate with each other, then you end up just having like weird, confusing, bizarre shit like this happen. Doesn't really prove that there's different people living inside your head.
Before this was shot for Scientific American Frontiers, surgeons cut the corpus callosum that connects the two sides of his brain.
I know the left hemisphere and right hemisphere now are working independent of each other, but...
The corpus callosum is the brain's information superhighway. It transfers an immense amount of information every second and unifies the brain into a single, coherent structure. In most cases, this is exactly what we want to happen. But when Joe had epileptic seizures, a rumble that began on one side of the brain could quickly travel through his entire brain over the corpus callosum and result in a dangerous condition called a grand mal seizure. Severing it made his symptoms much better. But more importantly, for our purposes today, it also gave scientists a unique opportunity to study how the two halves of a human brain operate independently from one another. It was time to experiment. The brain's unique wiring means that each eye connects directly to the opposite hemisphere. So the left eye sends images to the right side and vice versa for the right eye to the left hemisphere. This means that it's possible to send visual information to one hemisphere at a time. And when the corpus callosum
Not answering your stupid comment. Thanks for the donation, dumbass.
has been cut in two, that the half brain must process that information all on its own. For reasons locked in our evolutionary past, the left hemisphere here contains the language center and thus connects to the right eye, while both sides share the motor cortex, left hand, right side, and right side, left hand. This means that if you show a picture to the left hemisphere, it can respond with words, while the right hemisphere can only communicate with gestures and with writing. The researchers wanted to know what would happen when one half of a person's brain got different information about the world around it than the other half. How would each side integrate its knowledge of the environment when the other half disagreed about what was going on? In a novel experiment, Michael Gazzaniga, a neuroscientist, showed Joe a computer screen that displayed a handsaw on the left side of the screen and a hammer on the other. And the neuroscientist asked him what he saw. Since his language cortex could only communicate about the right side of the screen because things were sort of like partitioned off, he responded that he saw a hammer.
What did you see?
Saw a hammer. Then, when they asked the other side of his brain what appeared on the screen, his left hand, and thus his right hemisphere here, drew this: a handsaw. When asked why Joe drew the handsaw, the other side of his brain that controlled the language center said this.
That's nice. What's that? Saw. Yeah. What'd you see? Hammer.
This moment is super important. When we talk with our mouths, the assumption is that we are speaking with our own full and unified conscious selves. To an outsider, Joe seems completely sincere in his words, and yet he's simultaneously in disagreement with his hands. There are two Joes in Joe. In a similar experiment from the 1960s, the neuroscientist Robert Sperry presented the image of a bell to a half-brained patient, or to a split-brained patient, and then asked the language-holding side of the brain why it drew that bell in the first place. The patient explained that he must have seen a bell on the way to the lab that day. In other words, the language-using side of the man's brain decided to make up a story about the unfamiliar picture rather than admit that the brain was having two separate experiences at the same time. This experiment has been repeated on dozens of people with split brains over the years, and it's always the same. It leads to the seemingly impossible conclusion that the human brain isn't one integrated, complete self. Rather, it's multiple potential selves depending on how much of the brain is active at one particular moment. Yet on a daily basis, the surgery didn't really change Joe's life all that much.
You don't notice it. Now, you just kind of adapt to it. You don't have any feeling, it doesn't feel any different than it did before.
Despite the two sides seeing, experiencing, and reasoning in somewhat independent ways, there's a neurological step in human consciousness that then recombines disparate data into a sense of a unified self. To me, this is evidence that our natural unified self is an illusion that our brain invents to make it easier for us to navigate the world. The data suggest that, at a minimum, there are as many potential selves inside our minds as...
He's a fucking idiot. I knew he was gonna say that. Just stupid.
On Wednesday, January 7th, 2025, a woman named Renee Nicole Good was shot by Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, agents in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, I'm not going to show you the video.
Yeah, I'm taking T4 thyroid hormone.
You've seen it, or you can find it if you want. But in this roughly 4.5-minute video clip, a woman in a red minivan is surrounded by ICE agents. One ICE agent is either in front of the vehicle or a little to the front and to the side of the minivan. And when this woman tries to drive away, the officer opens fire.
You, ara, you why ad we asked woo, ara, wow odds watched moo, ara, woo ouch way woo, door who idra, why oh you, dwar, dweoj couch coast you, ara, jodge war, ara, you, ara, why odge wow jod you, ara, woo chiadu. Waged war hiju, ara, you, ara, you, ara, you, ara, you, ara, 999 sextillion 999 quintillion 999 quadrillion 999 trillion 999 billion 999 million 999,999 you. Ara, you, ara, you, ara, woo.
Thank you for that. Appreciate the donation, Soggy Balls.
Now, there is some debate as to whether or not this is a lawful action, a lawful but awful situation, or downright murder. But this video isn't about that. It's about tracking the disinformation spreading online about the event. A couple of things to start, since a lot of new people might view this. Hi, my name is Ryan McBeth. I'm a software engineer and intelligence analyst, mainly focusing on intelligence collection and cyber warfare, or Cybint, with a focus on how our adversaries practice information warfare. Free member page there as well. I identified 5 phrases that were common among tweets about the incident. Those phrases were: her car, she was driving away, legal observer, Renee Nicole Good, who is the name of the deceased, and Jonathan Ross, who is the ICE agent who opened fire, as reported by the media. I plugged these phrases into Cyabra social media threat detection software, and I found some pretty interesting things. First off, you have to remember, when events like this strike, our adversaries will use these events to further divide us as a nation. They want people angry. Second, social media companies do not care. They want you angry and clicking and scrolling so they can show you ads for the Lexus and the BTS meal. If you've watched any of this footage, you were likely manipulated by inauthentic actors who feed our need to dunk on Team Red or dunk on Team Blue. So the first thing I want to show you is the power of AI, or artificial intelligence, in this incident. This image was generated by an account called Scummy Mommy 511. It is an AI-generated image likely created with the intent of tricking people into believing it was real so it could be repeated by people who claim that the ICE officer's life was in danger. And again, this is a very powerful emotion because an image like this could prove that this particular officer is directly in front of the minivan when the incident occurred, thus dunking on Team Blue. And this tricked a few people, most notably ex-user Gunther Eagleman, also known as David Freeman, who is on Team Red, and I guess you could best describe him as a professional internet troll. I've actually made numerous videos about this guy. He is a disinformation gift that keeps on giving, but I mention this because it shows you how fast people jump to supporting Team Red or Team Blue without stopping and thinking first. Now, these 5 phrases I identified were her car. She was driving away, a legal observer, Renee Nicole Good, and Jonathan Ross. I entered them into the Cyabra social media threat detection software. The results were very telling. So first, let's talk about the phrase, her car. This phrase was actually used in a tweet about the incident made by Vice President J.D. Vance in response to a comment made by a user who described themselves as a civil liberties attorney. The tweet got 10.7 million views.
Yo, VG, your doctor recently diagnosed you with a thyroid problem. Nope. Why would you ever go to a doctor to get blood work, to ask them what they think, and to give you a diagnosis, and then do anything? You have way too much faith in doctors. So I ordered blood work. I saw that my T4 thyroid hormone was low. I was having all the symptoms, and I was taking drugs that would lower T4, particularly growth hormone. So I just got T4 growth hormone off the black market because if I went to a doctor, they'd probably just roadblock me, not prescribe me the shit I need, tell me to just wait a few months and see if it'll get better on its own, that sort of bullshit. So no, I just try to get as much black market drugs as I need so I don't have to deal with stupid fucking doctors. I am having symptoms of that, and I'm hoping for a proper diagnosis. Yeah, they probably won't even order the proper blood work for you.
But the highest performing tweet with this particular phrase was by ChessChick01, who said, she is ordered out of the car, she refuses, she backs up, she drives forward into an ICE agent pulls out gun only when she starts moving forward into his body, self-defense case closed.
By the way, this cop was so close to the fucking car. The idea that he would be safer by shooting at her is, like, fucking retarded. If anything, if somebody sees you pull out a gun, they're just more likely to speed up. It's just out of this world fucking stupid. None of that makes any fucking sense.
Dorud Bishara Farin Javona, Barke Rad, Vahi Fazin Bezarka, Esmi Gasaif Pader Pofuzesh. Rayadak Bekesh, Mosen Reza Tokum, Laya Kochen Pasari Ronadasht, in Pesari Rani, Biadas Madaresh Port. Gedakadascha, Koshtain in Javan, Va.
I don't speak Spanish, but thanks for the donation, Mandalay. When's the next workout stream? When I can mentally handle some of the stupidest, most annoying, distracting nonsense.
Closed. Now, following that tweet were about 23,000 replies and 29,000 shares. But the actual number of repeats of that phrase from inauthentic profiles were 28%. This is following the hashtag of ICE agent and Renee Nicole Good. So if you interacted with anybody on these topics, they had the text her car, you had a 28% chance of interacting with an inauthentic user or one of our adversaries. The next phrase is she was driving away. In this case, 34% of the interactions were inauthentic. So here's an example. The inauthentic user Adam Media said, breaking, Trump says that woman killed by ICE ran over ICE agent. As you
Have you played The Sims? No. The Sims is a fucking retarded game series. Only a complete fucking idiot would play one of the Sims games. They are outrageously awful. Just fucking stupid. I'm just curious, what tests did they run? Like, if you told them specifically you think you might have thyroid issues, then what they should have done was ordered free T4, free T3, and TSH. I'm assuming because they're doctors, which makes them fucking retards, they probably only ordered TSH or only, like, T3, not free T3, and TSH. So they don't even know what the free availability of each hormone is. It's... Dude, the medical industry is just so fucking ridiculous. Are you taking a big risk with black market T4 given your bad experience with Cialis? No, because it's pharmaceutical T4. The black market Cialis I got was actually made by a black market lab. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, okay?
You can see this isn't true. She was driving away and shot while turning away from agents. This was viewed 5.4 million times. This was the highest viewed item. This is pretty darn scary. You had a 1/3 chance of interacting with someone who wasn't real, someone who was designed to drive your anger. Next is the phrase legal observer, which was actually the first pattern that I noticed. This was from Representative Jerry Nadler, from
Nah, never played the prototype games.
Representative Sarah Jacobs, from a Muslim civil rights organization, and from Representative Ilhan Omar. And a lot more after that. And that was kind of the first clue that this particular line, legal observer, might have been part of a script. In the intelligence community, this is what we call a clue. So it certainly looked like some sort of talking points were sent out to use the words legal observer. When I saw this, I thought, oh, this was a bystander who was legally observing something, right? Like you're standing on the sidewalk, you're observing legally. I mean, when you're in public, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy. That's why it's legal to record somebody outside your home on a Ring doorbell. But no, a legal observer is an actual program from the National Lawyers Guild where you monitor, observe, and document government conduct against First Amendment protected activity, provide arrest support for protesters on the ground, and help support teams track and help arrested folks, and empower activists and serve as a deterrent to unconstitutional behavior by law enforcement. So was this person a legal observer who was legally observing? Were they obstructing police activity, or were they just a scared woman in a minivan who was wrong place, wrong time? I don't know. But what I do know is that 25% of the accounts who use this term are inauthentic. The highest interaction with over 1 million views came from an ex-account called Young Walk-In, who said, "This is a dividing line for America. If you think a 37-year-old citizen mom, legal observer, deserves a bullet to the head for some mass federal..."
If every guy looked like this on Earth and every girl was average or fat, will women will stop treating men like shit?
No. No, that wouldn't happen. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Gestapo, you are just beyond the pale. I don't recognize you as a good faith actor, someone whose opinion is worth a damn. The interesting part is that many of the interactions of this particular account were likely AI generated from inauthentic accounts, such as, did she show her legal observer card while blocking ICE agents? Is that a get out of jail card? Need to get me one of those. Again, this is designed to enrage you. Next is the phrase Renee Nicole Good, who is the deceased woman at the center of this incident. Most of the inauthentic profile topics centered around her name, along with ICE in Minneapolis. In this case, 17% of users who interacted with this topic were inauthentic. The user with the most interactions is a profile called Afro Pessimistic, who received 2.8 million views. While this particular user is authentic, the text is likely AI generated. One interesting thing here is that in this particular subject, I noticed there was an association with Trump and Renee Nicole Good, like those words go together. And what's also interesting is that a lot of the authentic profiles have a negative connotation between President Trump and Rachel Nicole Good, whereas inauthentic profiles tend to have associations with ICE and Rachel Nicole Good. That tells me is that foreign inauthentic actors are trying to spread anger about ICE, whereas authentic actors are users who are angry at the president directly. This indicates to me that we may be at a turning point in immigration enforcement that foreign actors haven't caught up with yet, and people are holding the president directly responsible for this tragic outcome. Finally, we have the phrase Jonathan Ross, who is identified by the media as the ICE agent who opened fire. Now, in this case, most of the interactions with that phrase were mostly news, not threats or misinformation. Still, 19% of those that interact with that phrase were deemed inauthentic. And this is something that bot farms will do so that you subscribe to them. They'll put out the news so that you subscribe to them and then later feast on their misinformation that they put out later. The most popular post on X was from Dina Winter, who is a Minneapolis City Hall reporter for the Star Tribune. Her particular post got 1 million views. She essentially gave out this ICE agent's name. Although there were some inauthentic gems in the threads, which are AI generated, like this text that said, "You are not a journalist, you are an activist, possibly a terrorist if you in fact want harm to befall Jonathan Ross." So here's the point that I want to leave you with. When something violent and emotionally charged happens, the real fight starts afterwards online. That fight isn't about justice or truth or even the victim. It's about who can make you angrier, faster, in order to cause conflict, sway your opinion, or make money. On this particular topic, using these 5 phrases, roughly 26% of the interactions were inauthentic. It means a quarter of the people that you likely interacted with don't exist or are Russian or Chinese bot.
You hear that? It is even more pointless to argue with people on the internet than it ever has been.
Farms trying to get you mad. This doesn't mean your anger about this incident isn't real. It means someone, most likely our adversaries, are trying to aim it at you. If you watched a clip, you shared a screenshot, you dunked on the other side, odds are pretty good that you interacted inside a manipulated environment designed to keep you mad and keep you clicking. So before you retweet the next viral post, ask a simple question. Who benefits if I believe this immediately? Thank you for watching. If you want to support my work, join Ryan.
Or again, just don't argue with people on the internet. It was pointless to begin with, and now, anytime you argue with somebody, you may literally be arguing with a fucking robot.
of detainees that they've been picking up, the vast majority of whom have no criminal history at all, arrest or conviction. And many are following legal pathways to come to this country and are therefore being illegally removed. So we've taken a number of different measures from the macro to the micro. On the macro level, I've introduced several bills, one that would unmask ICE agents, one that would prevent them from arresting immigrants who are going to court for court appearances or going to ICE for immigration check-ins as they are required to do by law, where they're sabotaged and booby trapped almost and just grabbed from court. And I've also came up with a lawsuit that we recently won. 11 of my colleagues and I filed a lawsuit against the DHS to allow us to conduct oversight of these immigration detention facilities. The one in my district at 26 Federal Plaza had already been ruled to be inhumane and unconstitutional by a judge. And we saw some video of, 90, 100 people in a very small space, staying there for 2-3 weeks, no showers, toilets just in the middle of these large rooms where they're staying, horrific conditions. We've won that lawsuit, and I've been able to now go do oversight of that facility. And surprise, surprise, knowing that I may be coming, and I've both advised them I'm coming once, and I've come unannounced another time. The conditions are very different. It's spick and span, which is good. That's the point of oversight.
Yeah.
And then finally, we've really set up a on-the-ground triage center in my district office where advocates, court watchers immediately bring families of loved ones who have been detained and arrested, and they bring them over. And we've got a whole process where we make sure that the family is okay, that they're going to have food, healthcare, shelter if they need it. We refer them to lawyers who can file habeas petitions very quickly, and we get them to sign the release so that we can advocate for them with ICE if they don't have their possessions or otherwise. And it's made a difference. 9 immigrants have been released as a result of these efforts in the last month or so.
As we watch the situation in Minnesota, for example, play out, do you have any concern that the Trump administration
yeah, that's because I'm not Somalian, dumbass.
will use this inevitable violence that we're going to see as a pushback to the fact that ICE just killed an American citizen, use that to basically ramp up whether it's National Guard or U.S. military, in very much the same way that, when ICE was sent into Los Angeles and inevitable protests grew against ICE, that Trump used that as the inciting incident, as some justification to then send in the National Guard there. And so they kind of benefit from having these awful moments because it gives them a pretext to be able to say, oh, look at all this violence. There's an invasion, there's an insurrection, there's a rebellion. We need to send in our troops. Do you have any concern that this is going to be used kind of to their benefit to further clamp down in a way that this administration clearly wants to do?
I have had a concern about this for a long time. It's part of the reason I wrote a letter to the NYPD urging them to be prepared to arrest ICE agents who go rogue, because this is all part of the plan that Donald Trump has created to make up this violence and chaos in these cities, to send ICE in, to have the ICE agents use excessive force, to try to have them incite violence and incite protests that they then will inflame and potentially turn violent, so that Donald Trump can then say, oh, well, we need now the National Guard to go in,
right,
because there's so much violence that was incited by the federal government itself.
Yeah.
And, this is all part of a pattern where Donald Trump is clearly trying to create so much unrest that he can invoke the Insurrection Act or he can invoke the Alien Enemies Act, so that he can clamp down even more. And it's been clear to me for quite some time that this is the pathway that he's been going, and there are no guardrails. And Stephen Miller is running this. He's a dangerous person. He is legitimately a really, really dangerous person who is kind of the evil character straight out of, a dictatorship.
Wasn't it found that the guy literally accepted a bribe? And the only reason he hasn't been prosecuted for it is because, like, Trump is protecting him?
Movie, The Right-Hand Man, who does all the dirty work. And the fact that he claimed that what happened today in Minneapolis was domestic terrorism by the victim,
Yeah.
is the type of gaslighting that we see with January 6th, that we see this administration doing all the time. There's no domestic terrorism. In fact, she was trying to get away, and that is crystal clear when she was shot several times in the head.
Yeah.
So any which way, it was completely uncalled for, unnecessary, and far, far excessive of what, even under their best circumstance, which I don't think it is, that is not how you respond. And to have the support of the officer by Stephen Miller, by Kristi Noem and DHS is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And we on the Homeland Security Committee are already talking about different ways that we can respond to this because we're not going away.
I want to switch gears a little bit here. We've obviously seen the Trump administration execute its incursion into Venezuela to bring Nicolas Maduro to the United States. That has kind of whetted Trump's appetite now, and he's threatened the same thing in Cuba, in Colombia. Now there's an increased probability that he may actually go into Greenland, and the administration refused to rule out military intervention there. So can I get your reaction to the fact that we may be seeing kind of a return to imperialism 2.0 now that Trump has decided?
The Greenland thing has nothing to do with imperialism. They don't know enough about geopolitics in general to really talk about this. It has to do with securing trade routes and also being able to quickly respond to military action against China. And also from preventing Russia from being able to transport oil and shit.
Decided that he wants to own the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, it's one thing when you at least argue, I think legitimately, that there's serious narco-terrorism going on in a number of these different countries. That is dangerous and damaging to the public safety and national security of Americans. That is certainly not enough to do what they did, what he did in Venezuela, to use that as a pretext to effect a military operation with no plan for a day after.
We charge any toilers, PCT advice. Don't do PCT, it's pointless. Also, thoughts on Superdrawal only cycle, retarded. Yeah, it'll take you about a week before you get sick. I have an AI on hand and fish oil supplement for health. Also, my source sells DNP, might add it to the stack. That's stupid. I have no idea if you're... Yeah, you're just trolling. My PCT stack is 100 milligram Novadex, vanilla extract, and divine protein shake. Will I ascend? No. Thanks for the donation, dude. Veganism is life, Tony Tillers. Would you have the same response if they attacked your mom or your cat? I know you just hate kids, but they can also be vegan.
Now to our breaking news from Atlantic Canada. A grade 8 student in Nova Scotia.
Well, if the dogs attacked my mom or the cat, the likelihood of them being at fault is very low. Dude, I was walking my dog. This is when I was in high school, so I would have been like 14 or 15 at the time. there are these kids between the ages of maybe 8 and 10 who ran up to me and started harassing my dog. They're like, "Can you get your dog to bite me?" And then like putting their hands near my dog's face. So I kicked one of those kids as hard as I possibly could in the stomach. I winded him. I knocked the wind out of him. And then when he finally caught his breath, he started crying like crazy. And his stupid friend just ran away. And then I just chose a different route home just so that in case they called the cops wouldn't find me. So yeah, the idea that a 13-year-old kid is likely not at fault for getting attacked by a dog is fucking retarded. 13-year-old kids are fucking assholes. So I don't know why you'd say something so stupid. Again, the plausibility of my mom or cat being at fault for a dog attack versus a 13-year-old boy. Like, why does everybody just have to like intentionally fucking irritate me?
That we know how this works. We've seen this movie before in Iraq and Afghanistan. But, you know, Maduro was a really bad person who has been charged with very serious crimes. I would feel like that was more of the objective if Donald Trump had not pardoned the Honduran president,
right,
who had committed the same crimes as Maduro.
And by the way, come out and said that the whole basis for this was to take the oil.
Exactly. And that he notified the oil companies, but not Congress.
Right.
In order to do this. So it's clear that's not really his mission, but at least it's colorable. Greenland is part of Denmark, which is a NATO ally that we are obligated to not only not invade, but to defend.
Yeah.
And there has no allegation that Greenland has done anything.
That's the part of the video where they don't know what they're talking about.
We have entered the 12th day of the uprising, and the situation in Iran has officially spiraled out of control. We are no longer just seeing chants in the street. We are seeing police stations under attack, commanders gunned down in broad daylight, and the flags burning in the city's square. As the Ayatollah prepares to pull the plug on the internet, the US has sent a clear signal. Stop the killing, or we will stop you. Here's the latest from the ground. More and more cities are joining in on the revolution. Over the last 24 hours, there's been a notable increase in protests that are happening across the country and the size of the protests that are happening. A clip that's now going viral on Iranian social media, you can see a female protester with a bloodied face chanting that she's not afraid anymore. Take a look. Something that's unique about these protests compared to the previous ones that have happened in the country. You see, this one is more decentralized and geographically dispersed. 1% of the population is 3 protesters are setting fire to a bus that belonged to the paramilitary volunteer force of the IRGC. This is basically the army that Ayatollah uses to squash down any protest. Then basically brainwash the future generation.
Khamenei. May God curse Khomeini and Khamenei.
Public funeral that was held west of Tehran. It is an important transport hub connecting Tehran to a Baloch group called Jasar al-Ud. They released a footage that we clearly cannot show on YouTube. But in this footage, we can see the POV of a passenger sitting in a car with the AK-47. The car drives up to a different car, which we can assume the commander was sitting in, and then the AK-47 goes off, and then the car drives off. It seemed like we were watching Narcos on Netflix or something, but that's the reality inside Iran. Now, the problem is that it seems like, based on reports that are coming out, that the regime is preparing for something horrible. Now, the reason I say this is because tomorrow is the 12th day. In fact, by the time you guys are watching this video, it's likely already the 12th day of the protest. Now, that may be a symbolic point for many people because, as you guys may remember, day.
Devices in Iran or through the Iran International and
Still a lot of people who support this theocracy. That means whenever things get too out of control, they shut down the internet and they go on a brutal killing spree. That's you have Wi-Fi. Now, the Iranian forces.
Genome think most people forget that even most deadly animals that people would call aggressive are usually only defensive. 9 times out of 10, they won't do anything if you just leave them alone. Either it's an accident, which is fine, or you're in its space. Yeah, thanks for the donation, G.
Forces start killing innocent protesters. Now, killings have been ongoing. In fact, we know from public reports from non-profit organizations that Iranian forces have killed around 30 to 35 people already. But if that goes up significantly, the chances of US involvement does go up a lot. Maybe even Israeli involvement, or maybe just Israeli involvement also. In fact, just last night on January 8th, someone from the White House told Iran International that the United States will respond if Iran starts killing protesters. So that's definitely just confirming the comments that President has been making publicly. Now, US
capture is
had to blur
They gathered before sunrise. Twin Cities pushed to the brink. Willing a view was torn.
Protesters wanted out with the combative messaging from the White House.
Thank you. Left-wing network
of power have.
I love how they title the video, State Investigators Say FBI Won't Let Them Get at ICE Shooting Evidence. We're already halfway through the video. They don't even talk about that yet.
Already, Christie knows
Is been blamed on so-called lower training standards.
Hired in a hurry.
This is a agency.
Invaders.
And the least trained and least educated.
And we recognize.
Great. So the video title has nothing to do with anything they showed.
This channel does not promote or promotion any illegal activities.
Do you know the drive menu? It's a big block. Holly fuel injected. Alcohol injected, huh? Alcohol injected? We're injected. All right. A lot. Or this car. It's injected. Where are you being injected? What are you saying? Huh? Injection site? I know what to drive manual, but it was on like a newer car. All right. Oh, I already stalled out.
It'll be a little. If you know the basics, you'll pick it right up. Okay. You might go out here and kill it a couple times.
Dude, what the I mean? I don't know.
All right, let's feather it out. The bad thing about this one is that if you get out of whack, it's gonna get crazy quick because it's 550, 600 horsepower.
No, Chris! Rolling up our new car. That's the title of the video now. Son of a dude. What the I mean? I don't know. After 2 months, finally got this shit back. That's it. Let's go buy Porsche. Dude. Man, who gave me this shit? Who thought it was a good idea to buy shifting, bro? What is going on? I don't know. It looks like it, bro. I don't know why the shifts look that fucking hard. This shit gonna melt the fuck away.
There's no way that's supposed to be holding that down, bro.
Just keep it. Yeah, I think I done fucked up, bro. What'd you do? I don't know. It feels like fine, bro. I'm doing what I normally do.
What'd you do?
I fucked up, bro. How do you know? What do you mean? I don't know, man. Do you know when you're driving it, right? Like when you drove, I don't know if it's happened to you. Like it's got some crazy fucking pops, like abnormal pops. Like does that happen to you or?
No.
I'm talking about like loud ass explosion.
What?
Like loud ass.
It's just a backfire. It's called
backfire. Like a backfire. Like it just. I was coming down. Do you have the rev match? I forgot. Like I'm not. I don't know, man.
Don't do anything, bro. It's old school shitbox. I'm just driving, bro.
No, this motherfucker.
The wheel seized up.
The wheel seized up. I'm looking at something.
What?
I'm looking at.
This might not have a synchro in it, so he might not be heel towing when he's doing downshifts. So that could explain it.
Looking at something dripping.
Oh, you're the king of destruction.
Bro, it looks like it's painful to drive for you. Why is it painful?
Motherfucker, dude. Brake fluid. Non-existent. All right, let's go here. Like, we're like a half a mile from it. These people are probably looking at us like, what the fuck? I'm calling the damn tow truck, bro. I'm so fucking pissed.
Take your motivation for legs.
I'm gonna have to go hard as fuck, dude. I just gotta fucking. In life, it's tractions, baby. Them bitches not even resting on the shoulders. They not touching the fucking shoulders. Pretty crazy. Literally. Come on. Yeah.
The Trent twins don't fuck with Clav.
What do you think about Clav?
Make sure it's halal.
Okay, I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're like, he's dead ass for fact.
Oh, you can say that. I'm on Twitch. Don't be a pussy. What?
I'm not against, like, gay people, but fag is a term I'm gonna use.
Shit. Neon, stop. It's just against, no, stop making a big deal. You're not saying it, are you? You're not saying it.
Wait, are you?
I mean, they're not wrong. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
That's the first block, baby. First block of the new year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're him. You're fucking him. Yes.
This is a fucking ox. Strong as a fucking ox.
Come on, Mike. Two more. Let's go. One more. Hey, fucking one more. Last set. Just fucking go, baby. Fuck. Nothing like that.
Yeah, you. There's no picture.
I just blew my snot on before. On through.
Yeah.
Way better, man.
Yeah, I only work for so long.
So that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know. We'll keep an update with the car for the next video. This video, if we reach 100,000 subscribers, we'll buy.
This is from the exhaust, spitting fuel out. Our shop floor is cooked. So, yeah.
For the next video. This video, if we reach 100,000 subscribers,
we'll buy some random shit off Marketplace.
Yeah, we'll.
This is from the exhaust, spitting fuel out. Our
Makes me think it doesn't have anything to do with his shifting.
shop floor is cooked. So, yeah.
Choking? You good?
Yeah, I'm choking on the fact that we lost money on these cars.
This shit heavy.
Why don't I just move the packages out the way?
Get out the door. It's all fucking wet. Shout out Magna. Magna Flow sent that on over for a demon here. This is gonna be the start of our little car channel. And we're pretty much gonna be doing car reviews, burnout, just get some crazy shit. Just love cars. I just like it. Like I just like trains. I like trains when I was younger.
Trains?
Yeah, so this is our fleet right here. We got ZL1, Camaro 2023.
The best bang for your buck.
I'd say this is the best car you could fucking buy. 100%.
Best car you can fuck.
In the 60 grand range, bro, you can find one for 45.
No, you fucking can't.
Used, hella
no
used.
title?
You got two demons. Purple bitch, all the way back there. This orange hoe, gonorrhea, because it's red and it burns. It's itchy.
Lost about 40K on this one.
Lost about 40K, but hey, we're gonna start a car rental business, right? Everything's a write-off. And then Purple Rage, gonna tune her up, get that exhaust on her, maybe some other shit. I mean, why stop at 1100 horsepower, huh? Fucked up Jinx.
I like their house. Getting recommended weird random live streams. Those are very big kitties.
Welcome to the world of Vegangains. We are Kasia and Amadeus, the creators of the game.
And this is Gameplay Overview. Vegangains is a first-person action-adventure game that encourages exploration,
This has to be an Unreal Engine game.
rewards curiosity.
And never holds your hand.
You play as Denzel Phoenix, an Vegangains, a corporate bounty hunter.
Vegangains hunt down fugitives and reclaim souls from those who try to escape the system.
One of the game's main hubs is the Tower, a massive fortress city ruled by the Helion Corporation. This and almost everyone
Heavily modified car designed to protect you from extreme conditions.
players to make careful.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Don't know if that game's gonna be any good.
Did you hear Jason Love is going to be fighting Adam 22 lol?
Yo, it's your boy J Love. The fight odds for the fight between me and Adam 22 on January 23rd is now in. Head over to Rainbet.
I think he's gonna win. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
.com. Place your bets. If you're smart and you
They're still friends. Fucking hate seeing this guy's bald head. I like driving through tunnels.
Finally, she gets the hint. Hey everyone, this is Jody. She's in unit.
We have to do the entire thing over again. Literally everything. Fuck! Oh my god. All you need is cow donatellers. Apparently, this is Ask Yourself when he was a bit younger.
Because we can imagine we are free, you know, and guess what? Pull the thumbs, that literally, and then do that is only.
No. Thanks for the donation.
Are you okay, Simon? I think you're bleeding.
Oh, that's nothing. It's just my brain can't stop bleeding from the accident.
Here.
No, I'm never playing any of the South Park games.
Take this.
No, that's for later, for the scan.
It's green.
Ashley, I need to tell you something.
Simon, please don't make this weird.
No, it's not like that. Why now?
Who's David Munshi?
Why is there never enough time?
For what?
Christ.
No one's...
Yeah, I'm up.
Hi, Simon Jarrett?
Yeah, that's me.
My name is David Munshi. We spoke earlier.
The brain scan. I remember.
Are you all right?
Yeah, just a bad dream. Are we still on for today?
Yeah, that's why I'm calling. I wanted to remind you to drink the tracer fluid I sent you. It'll help me capture a better image of the damages.
Don't worry, I got it somewhere.
Okay, great. Well, I'll see you in a couple of hours then.
Okay, see you soon. Where did I put the tracer fluid? Come on, radioactive tracer fluid, where are you?
Why isn't it showing the game? I can never catch a break. Well, we can't play that game. I could see the game on my screen. Fucktard. It's just OBS wasn't capturing it. I'm gonna go to bed. Big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I need to rest. But thanks again, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow.